What's up, everybody? It's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. We are back with another video. Today we're gonna be doing a beat breakdown of one of the beats I just released called Maddness, which is based, let's kind of got the inspiration from Drake's new album Views from the 6th. If you haven't checked out his new album, you need to check it out. Very dope album, very different from what he usually does, but still Drake, and I really like the style. I heard the album, I picked it up. Very dope. Listen to it over. There's a bunch of songs that I liked. One song that stuck out to me that I was really interested in was Hype, and I just liked the way the beat was like very dark and moody, and then it went to just this heavy hitting 808s and drum sounds and all that. So the beat I made over the weekend was based off of that. And if you haven't checked out the beat, I'll put a link in the top, up the top corner right here, where you can go check out that beat and you can listen to it yourself. And you can see what I'm talking about. And then also check out his actual song so you can see where I got the inspiration from. And also I want to say thank everybody for helping me get 1 million views once again. I made a little video explaining that, talking about weekly giveaways, and also helping me get at least 300 views on every video I upload. I'm gonna start doing daily uploads. So please help me get 300 views on every upload I get. More will be better, but at least 300. And if I do that every week, I will be giving a cash giveaway, but there's more information about that at the top corner if you want to check out that video and see everything that I am talking about. So with that being said, let's get to the beat. I'm going to play the beat so y'all can hear it real quick, and then we're going to get into the breakdown on how I made this beat and, where I got inspiration from the sound design and all that.
This is different.
As you can hear, it's a very dope track. Like I said, it starts off nice ambient sounding, and then it gets to like just 808s hitting and drums and stuff of that nature, and just going all kind of crazy with that. So let's go ahead and get to the beat breakdown. Let's break down this beat because that's what y'all want to hear, and that's why y'all came to this video. So we're gonna start with the first sound. The first sound is from Reactor Contour, which is one of my newer favorite plugins. I really like Contour. It has some nice elements in it. It's an FM synthesis plugin. I'll make a video that's actually, I can explain more about Contour in more detail, but I found this little sound called Elemental, and I made this little quick pattern real quick. It was a very simple pattern. It's a C sharp minor scale, but I just kind of played it, and I strummed a few of the notes. And how to do an instant strum: if you make a chord, like here go a chord right here, if you highlight them and then you Alt-S, you get this strummer, which will allow you to do an instant strum if you don't want to play it out. So that's just a quick little tidbit right there. But anyway, here go the little pattern I made. Very simple pattern, nothing special to that. But what gives it that nice kind of stuttering effect, I added gross beats. And I went to the third preset right here, and I went to slow triplets, and that's gonna give it that nice kind of slow down effect, like it's stuttering. Very dope. So that's how I got that cool sound. And then I did the same thing with the next sound, which I pretty much layered another contour, as you can see, Reactor 6 or Reactor 5 in this case, and another contour. And it's the unicorn sound. And I did the same thing. I just pretty much took the exact same pattern, put it over there, and I did the same thing with the gross beats, as you can hear. But I panned both of them. I panned one to the right and one to the left, and that gives it that nice stereo feel, because they're both since they're the same pattern and, sort of in the same type of like sound base, I just panned them to give it a nice stereo spread. So that way, if you want to get a unique sound and get a bigger sound, stack sounds together. Take the same patterns and stack them with different sounds. You get a bigger, fuller sound without having to, you know, come up with unique patterns. So that's just a little quick tidbit there. It makes people harder to figure out what kind of sound to use. So they're like, what you use to make that sound was really use 2 or 3 or more sounds to make one sound. So just keep that in mind when you're making beats. Next up is this sound right here from Contact, which is nothing but a simple little pad. Simple little pad sound, nothing special. It's actually from the factory library that comes with Contact, so don't underestimate the factory library. The factory sounds are just as good as all these modules right here, so just remember that. So it's just a nice little sweep effect. Nice little pad sweep, but when you add it to this, it really gives it some dimension to it. It gives it that nice, dark, sad sound that I was going for when making this beat. So keep that in mind. You know, you want to add sounds that complement each other to get the sound that you're trying to get. Next up is this nice filtered bass. Y'all know simple filtered bass by Silent. Like I said, I made a video. I'll put the link up here up the top where you can check out how I made this sound. This sound literally takes you about a minute, not even a minute to make. It's just a few little button turns and that's it. You got a nice filtered bass sound. And you just play it in the same chords as the notes up here, say in the same key range, and you get that nice sound. So with that added with the sweep and the pad, so the 2 notes right here and then the pad, a lot of people really like that because it gives it that nice dark sound to it, which I was going for, that nice dark and moody sound. And then I just add this cool little bell sound, which is, like I said, another Contact, but like I said, the factory default settings, like I said, don't underestimate them, and that just nice little bell sound that was nice and ambient to where I wanted it to go. And then, like I said, when layered upon everything else, you really get that nice, sad, like you just want to cry type feel before you get into the heavy 808s and kicks. If you look at my ghost notes, you see I'm actually playing in the same notes as all my other notes. That way everything stays in key and doesn't sound out of whack and doesn't sound bad. So remember that when you're playing. Sometimes you can go a note or 2 out of key and it still sound good, but you got to be careful on what notes you pick, because you pick the wrong notes, it's gonna sound sour and nobody's gonna like that. Now we can get to the fun stuff, all the drums and stuff. So let's go to the 808s first. That's where I started off with when I came to percussion. So yeah, simple 808, nothing spectacular. Got out of a John Giuliano kit. I truncate it as usual, turn everything down but the hold all the way up, and that allows you to, when you release the note, it automatically stops, or you can just go to right click and click cut itself and does the exact same thing. It just depends on which way you like doing it. I like this version because I know for a fact it's gonna work the way I want it to work. Next, I added in Supercharger, my go-to 808 kick plugin. Like to me, there is no better plugin for 808 kicks. You know, you can really get some crunchy, distorted sounds or nice and clean, punchy sounds. Add a little bit of saturation at moderate, a little bit of character at bright. I did 50% wet and dry, and I just brought a little bit of compression at the punch setting to give it that overall sound. So listen to the before and after. You can hear that it has some upper harmonics that just come out. And the reason you want upper harmonics is because that way you'll be able to hear it in smaller speakers that don't have a lot of bass response, like earbuds, cell phones, crap speakers that people got at their desktop, TVs, stuff of that nature. So listen. You can hear more in the higher frequencies, and that's what I was going for when making this beat. No EQ, I left it as it is, and I did a little side chaining, but Y'all know how I sidechain. Sidechaining is pretty cool. I think I made a video about it. I'm gonna try to find it and put it up there. If not, the sidechain, I just sidechain the kick to this. Use the FL Studio limiter, compression mode, right click, sidechain. And then I just brought down a threshold and throw the ratio all the way up and the knee all the way up. And just bring the threshold down till I get some compression on the kick. But since I just found out not too long ago that Supercharger, I don't know why I use the Supercharger sidechain ability, which I just right click this. It's gonna do the exact same thing. But you only get to hear when I hit a kick drum in there. So yeah, I'm gonna start using just Superchargers for sidechaining for now because it's a whole lot easier. And I just let me do one plugin can do it all. That's why I love Supercharger GT, because one plugin does everything. So with that being said, now let's move along to the snare drums. Now my snare drum sound is 3 sounds compiled into one, 3 snares. I have a little bit of fruity parametric EQ2 to cut out some of the low notes that I don't want. I added my VC76, which is an 1176 style plugin, which is one of my favorite compressors out there. That and the LA2A, 2 of my favorite compressors, which I would love to own an actual like gear of this, but right now I'm just not. I just don't need it because, like I said, I have plugins that do the exact same thing, so there's no point in me owning the real one. But one of my favorite plugins, I have it set to the snare preset, and I just have a little bit of parallel compression going into it, adding some of that dry signal, so it's not completely compressed signal. You get some of the natural signal with some of the compressed signal to get some parallel compression. That's why I like this plugin, because it's instant parallel compression. And then my RC24, which is just a reverb plugin set to the snare room with a little bit of mix to 20%. And I kind of played around with these settings a little bit, and that just gave it a different sound. So without the plugins, it sounds like this. Oh, and with the plugins, has a lot more space and character and just ambient noise to it, which is what I was going for with this beat. The hi-hats is nothing special, simple pattern. You're probably wondering how to get it in crazy stereo field. You already know, if you hit Alt R, it brings up your randomizer function, randomize your pan and your volume, your velocity, and just select your speed, and it pretty much changes how it does it. It changes what direction it does, like this. It just makes it more random. Find out which one works best for you, run with it, and there you go. Instant snare rolls, instant hi-hat rolls, instant just crazy, going crazy drums and stuff without having to program it. So it saves you time. That's a workflow tip right there. Anything I can do to save me time, I'm gonna do it. Next is this Vox loop from one of Drake's songs. Nothing special there. Just threw it in there because of the Drake sound. So a Drake song, a Drake beat. So we need a Drake type of sound right there. Next, I added just this cool little crash. And I always pan my crash to my right and my hi-hats to my left. That just sounds good for me. Personally, you don't have to do that. But in my opinion, with stuff like that, when you start panning stuff, you do get some nice sound. You get some more stereo spread and stuff of that nature. Then I have a really low Vox that you can't even hear, really. And I use the Alt R randomizer to randomize that, but you really can't hear this Vox, but it's there. Just add just a little bit of flavor, like some sprinkles on top. Nothing special, but it's there. The funny thing is the kick drum has nothing on it. Like, the kick drum is plain. That's the funny thing about it. The kick drum sound was just punchy and sounded just the way I wanted. So I used it, and I did not EQ it. I did not compress it. I could have, but like I said, that just goes to show you, if you have a sound that's already good, don't mess it up by adding EQ and compression to it. Just run with it. Like I said, I sidechained it to the 808 by right-clicking the bottom of the 808, sidechain this track, and then you add in a sidechain plugin like GT, or like I said, you can go to FL limiter, compressor, right-click, kick drum. Now it's sidechain to the kick drum. You bring down your threshold, turn your ratio up, and your need all the way that way too. And you just bring it down till it starts compressing the 808 every time the kick hits. So Whichever way you like to do it, up to you. A lot of my plugins have side chaining functions in it, so I just one button click side chain, which I like, and I just play with the side chain and that just lets the kick breathe through the mix. That's all that does. It just lets the kick breathe because, like I said, you don't want the 808 to overpower your kick. You still want to have that kick punch, but you still want the 808 tail. And last but not least is the bus compression and the limiter. Like, actually, I had the bus compressor on the whole time while I was mixing this beat. Why? Because that allows me to hear what it sounds like with compression on it. And if it starts sounding bad, I know where I need to back off on it and all that kind of stuff. So when I do, that's one thing I like doing, mixing through bus compression. It's just a technique I've been doing. I haven't been doing lately because, I've been doing videos for y'all. I don't like to show all my tricks of trade, but now I don't really care because I said, y'all help me get 1 million views. But that's one of my little secret sauces right there, actually mixing through the bus compressor. So just set your bus compression to where you're getting about 2 to 4 dB of gain reduction. I like to set a fast release and a slow attack, and my ratio is usually 2 to 1. Usually where I leave it at. And I just make up gain about 3 to 4, depending on how much gain reduction I'm getting. And I mix the entire beat through the bus compressor, leave it on while I'm mixing. That way, I can really see where the beat's gonna be going in the end result. Then I just add a simple little Pro L, which y'all know Pro L makes stuff sounds good. And it's just a limiter, So any limiter works no matter what. Just make sure you got your ceiling set to about, -0.3 or -0.5. Either one works. It just depends on what one works for you. And that's about it. That's it about that. And you get this sound right here. I'm going to take out the limiter and the bus compressor. I'm going to take out the bus compressor so you can hear what the bus compressor is actually doing. Now, I know that was bad because you heard every sound playing together not supposed to, but you just hear that the bus compressor just kind of lifts the low end up, tightens everything together, and makes it sound a little bit more cohesive, like it's one complete mix. So that's really it with the beat. That's the breakdown. Very simple beat, but it sounds powerful and sounds, heavy because I did a lot of stacking, layering, and I did some simple little techniques, like I said, side chain stuff of that nature. And like I said, the sound selection would really made the beat. If the sounds weren't picked right, then this beat probably wouldn't have worked at all. So with that being said, y'all know who it is. It's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Remember, you can also get the free FLP with the drum kit in the link below, and you can also get the free download beat if you're an artist and you want to just rap over the beat and have fun with the beat. You can do that as well. But with that being said, y'all know who it is. It's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Mr. Not motivated by money, but like, comment, subscribe, and views. So help this video get at least 300 views so I can get that weekly giveaway, get that cash prize, people. With that being said, y'all know who it is. Your boy Slim, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Have a good day.